Firstly, before we get started, I just want to apologize. I was meant to film this video earlier in the week, but I got caught up in a few things, so I wasn't able to. But today we're going to be talking about the Glasgow child abuse ring case, which has now come to an end. A case that has seen 7 individuals sentenced for horrific child abuse crimes. Something that a certain demographic of people were quiet about, unsurprisingly, but I'm not going to name them because they don't like being called what they are sometimes. These perpetrators faced 49 charges, from sexual abuse to assault, committed between 2012 to 2019. These sentences include 8 to 20 years behind bars, with lifelong monitoring also imposed. The judge condemned their actions as being from the depths of human depravity. Now, like I said, when I made a video about the Southport killer being sentenced, there were people that came to attack me, to say that I didn't care about the children. Now, the families of the victims were meant to come out and give some sort of statement, but they couldn't because of far-right protests.
You, young man, have got no right in calling people who care about the victims, their families, or Southport. You are like the government. You are spreading this shit. You, people like you who don't know the facts, who blame far-right people. You know these far-right people outside protests? They are people who care about these families and the victims who were taken. And if you want to class every single parent in this country far-right, so fucking be it. Because you know what? We are right. We have always been right, and we will not tolerate this bullshit in our country. And people like you labelling us far right.
Yeah, and a lot of it got boring. It was a 5-minute video and she was just going on a rant about how she's right and I'm wrong, and people like me don't belong here, and we're always spreading misinformation, you know, the typical stuff. So I just chopped it a bit so you can see what she was actually talking about. She actually gets to a point in the end, the point that they always make, and then they claim they're not far right, even though the far right ideology basically revolves around nationalism, white supremacy, and the idea that every other ethnicity is below them. But back to the video, and that I made this about race or about immigration. But those same people are yet to make a video about this, yet to talk about it. Because, as I did previously mention, this was about race and immigration to them, not the fact that these horrific crimes are being committed against children, as I mentioned in the Southport killer video. I'll tell you why. Because for the far right, this became an issue of race and immigration, not of the horrific attack. And in the Rochdale grooming gang video. And I will stand firmly against any perpetrator, regardless of their ethnicity, regardless of their religion, regardless of their background, who participates in these crimes. Because crimes against children are crimes against children. It doesn't matter what race you belong to, what ethnicity you belong to, what religion you belong to. Now, if you or someone you know are affected by similar issues, please reach out to local support services. In this case, justice has been served, but the fight to protect our children still remains.